Welcome back to the Step It Up Entrepreneur Podcast. Your host, Tomas Keenan, coming at you guys today from the home office as usual. And coming in here a little bit different than normal. I normally don't record podcasts live or stream them to social media platforms. I usually have a co-host or a guest that I'm interviewing. And today is a bit different. I've got a bunch of people in the queue as far as, regular listeners here, you guys who have heard the podcast before, you know that every week we have in some really high-level, successful business leaders, entrepreneurs, authors, the whole nine yards, right? And I do a lot of very organic interviews with these folks. And today we're changing things up. No great shakes or reasons, but they have an opportunity to present some stuff to you guys and share this message out with more people than normal. So I figured I would just get on the good old StreamYard here. That's the service I'm using to stream this into my Facebook group, Integrated Talk with Integrated Pros today. And for those of you podcast listeners who aren't a member, you should head over there and check it out. We've got some awesome content that gets shared in there daily and some really successful, smart people who are in that group. And I'm just honored to be around those folks. But back to this being the solo episode today. We've got some cool things coming up here, and I wanted to spend a couple of minutes. This is going to be a short podcast, by the way. I wanted to spend a couple of minutes just speaking about some of the upcoming things that are going on here inside Step It Up Academy, also with the podcast. And we've decided to host a webinar. And if you guys know anything about me, if you know anything about, me in business and whatnot, I've actually never hosted a webinar for myself in all the damn years I've been in business, especially in the online space and the marketing space and so on and so forth. So speaking with my team, just new ideas, a couple different things. What do people need? And we're always asking the marketplace. And most of you who are in this Facebook group know that we're sliding into your DMs on a regular basis, just checking in on you as human beings. Like, hey, is there anything that I can provide you that's going to better help you, better equip you, give you a tool that is going to better enable you to succeed in business? Because at the end of the day, that's what we're here for. And the big thing that keeps coming back and people are asking me is man, I'm struggling with hiring. And I'm very, 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 very familiar with this myself. I've struggled with hiring. And I'll tell you this, up until a couple of years ago, hiring was the most difficult and challenging thing that I ever had to do in business. And this is coming from someone who's been in the small business space for 20 plus years. And there's a lot to it. And it wasn't until I got serious about hiring, because I told myself all the bullshit excuses and stories that we all do. I'm not good at hiring. Hiring sucks. There's no good people out in the marketplace, blah, 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 blah. It wasn't until I invested money into myself, into my education, flew out to Phoenix several years ago. And there was a big marketing conference that I went to. I'm not going to mention who it was for and whatnot. It's irrelevant. Went to this conference. And I bought tickets to it, bought a bunch of VIP tickets, and went out there. And before the event kicked off, maybe 30 days or so before the event kicked off, they said, hey, we're throwing a couple of these smaller pop-up trainings. There's going to be a cost associated to it, but these are some of the topics we're teaching and training on. And the topic that really caught my eye was hiring, because at that time in my last service-based business, I was struggling big time with hiring. So I said, all right, let me pony up some more money here. I'll fly out 2 or 3 days early. I'll get to go into this 1 or 2 day intensive training prior to this week-long event in Phoenix. And I did so. And I got to tell you, the time that I spent there doing that and learning from the people that I learned from started to really lay the groundwork for the hiring processes and systems that I've developed at this point in my career. And I'm really grateful for the opportunity to get in there. But I also understand the importance of ponying up a couple of bucks and investing not just in me, but this was also an investment in the future version of me. It was also an investment into the company that I owned and operated at that point in time. So it was well worth it, in my opinion. And while there, I learned a bunch about hiring, and I'm not going to go into all the details of that here now, because this isn't the time or the place for it. But I'm here to tell you that hiring is not easy, and it's something that we if you're in business and you want to grow and scale your company, which most of us do, we have to get good at it. It's kind of like sales, right? It's kind of like sales and marketing. You cannot have a successful business without marketing. Without marketing, there is no sales. You have to get good at these things. So hiring is literally the same thing as sales and marketing, in my opinion. The workflow is just a bit different, right? We run people through a marketing and then into a sales pipeline or a sales process. Well, hiring is the same thing. We get people into a hiring funnel, aka leads, aka prospects, whatever you want to call them, applicants, and we run them through a pipeline. And the difference is in marketing and sales, we try to get as many people through to convert on the backside. And when it comes to hiring, the way that I do things is I'm actually trying to intentionally trip people up so they remove themselves from my hiring pipeline. I want as few people to come through that pipeline as possible, because now I can shorten the amount of people or lessen the amount of people that I have to personally interact with and meet with, or Zoom screens or in-person face-to-face interviews. So I'm only getting the select best few. So with that being said, we've got this hiring webinar coming up. I'm going to post about it more here in the group in the upcoming days and weeks. And if you're on my email list, trust me, you're going to know it. Actually, I think one went out yesterday or 2 days ago. I think another one's set to go out today, just with our automated system that we built to notify people on the list about this webinar. But it's going to be April 24th, this month, April 24th at 6:30 p.m. Central. And excuse me, I'm actually going to share my screen here for a second and show you guys what we got going on, right? So this is the landing page. This is the RSVP to sign up for it. If you guys want to head over to this and check it out, it is events.stepitupacademy.com/webinar. Once I get off this live and this podcast recording, I'm going to drop this URL into the comments so you guys can check it out. But if you head over here and you click Save My Seat, you just sign up. Guys, if you can't make it to this event or you're uncertain, I'm telling you right now, and I know this goes against what some marketers teach and preach, okay? I'm going to automatically email out the recording of the webinar to every person who attends, whether they showed up to the actual Zoom or they didn't. I'm going to email the actual recording to everyone after the webinar is recorded, right? And a lot of people don't do that, right? This information is super powerful, and I know it's going to help some of you succeed. I know it's going to help you overcome some of the hurdles and the challenges that you're facing in the hiring world. So with that being said, come over here, check out events.stepitupacademy.com/webinar. Head over to this landing page, click Save My Seat, fill out the damn form. This is going to answer any questions you may have. This tells you when the registration's going. There's a nice video here that explains in further detail about what's going on and what we're going to cover. There's a little bit of information about me in case you guys don't know who the hell I am at this point, which may or may not be the case. And then just some other stuff here that's going to help you know a bit more of what we're doing. There's another platform here I want to talk about, and I didn't mention it here on the landing page, and usually I do. I have become an affiliate and partnered up with a company. And an affiliate has a dirty word with some people, and I don't want it to come off that way. I have partnered up and become an affiliate with a company called WiseHire. And I'm going to be talking heavily about this company, WiseHire, in this webinar. And guys, it's not to sell you WiseHire, because I'll be the first one to tell you there's other tools and other platforms out there that allow you to build a very similar process, if not almost duplicate the process I'm going to show you that I use for hiring outside of WiseHire. WiseHire is a company that I found that has everything that I need to build a successful, effective, efficient hiring process in one platform. And I'm all about simplicity. If I can keep all of my stuff in one spot rather than go and use 10 or 15 other softwares, I'm going to keep it in one spot. On top of that, the leadership over at WiseHire is a bunch of really good people. I've interviewed the CEO on my podcast as well. He's been a guest here on the show. I've had one-on-one calls with their executive team where they're actually showing me the intricacies and the like an in-depth deep dive into their DISC assessment. They call it DISC Plus, and DISC Plus is part of their platform. So this hiring process that I'm going to show you is highly intuitive. It is detailed, and we're forcing people to jump through these hoops in order to eliminate them from the hiring. Ultimately, this is something that I have been successful using in multiple verticals, multiple companies. I'll give you guys some history with me. You know, my last company that I exited was Top Class Installations. I had that business for 11 years before I exited, and we had 26, 27 people, multi-million-dollar company. And I started dialing in a very similar process that I use with WiseHire now, but this was before WiseHire was a thing, and I had to go full-blown nerd and build this process out using multiple different pieces of software, CRM, Zapier, Google Sheets, the whole nine yards. It was involved, in depth, and you practically needed a damn MBA in order to run the process. So the process works in the service-based industries. When I left Top Class and I moved from New York to Dallas back in 2020, shortly after, I started working at a big high-level mastermind networking group. A lot of people who are here in this group and listen to this podcast know exactly what I'm talking about. And I was there for two and a half years. In the time period that I was there, when I walked into that office, I think we had 5 or 6 people. By the time I left, we had 20 something people on the team. And again, this was, I didn't do all of that hiring, but the hiring process that I implemented and then trained other people in that company to go leverage and use, right? And I'm wearing the shirt here too, G3. This is so important right now, right? You guys know this lesson for me. This is the formula to scaling, right? It's get it done, get it documented, get it delegated, right? So when you build a process like hiring, like the hiring process, you use tools like WiseHire, you document how you want things done and so on and so forth. It allows you to run G3, and actually you don't have to be the one who's doing this over and over and over again, right? And that's a whole other topic for a whole other podcast episode. But I'm trying to explain to you guys that this process that I've developed works in multiple different industries, multiple different verticals. I don't care if it's service-based business. I don't care if you're herding people into an office every day to do some work, right? This works. It is a really awesome, amazing tool. And I'm going to really dive in deep. We're going to spend about a solid hour and a half on this webinar on 4/24 and April 24th at 6:30 p.m. Central. About an hour and a half, we're going to dive in, and I'm going to show you guys start to finish what I do, how I build out the platform, how we decide what roles and positions we're hiring for. We talk about the importance of core values and establishing those core values and having them very clearly established before we do anything with the hiring process, right? We talk about core values, talk about mission and purpose, all that stuff. That foundational work is imperative to your overall hiring success. And if you think that you're going to skip that crap and just get right to hiring, I'm telling you right now from experience that you're going to set yourself up for failure. So we're going to talk about that, the importance of it. We're going to talk about the actual, the system, the platform of WiseHire itself, how we leverage it, how we set the accounts up, how we go and craft the actual job ads. So WiseHire has some amazing templates inside of it. I'm going to show you guys how we use these templates. And, to be honest, templates are great, but templates are never perfect for the actual business or the roles that you have for yourself. All right, we've all experienced this before. We go and we find a Google Sheet template. We find an email campaign template. We find a landing page template. We have to customize it to fit our needs. And these hiring templates inside WiseHire are no different. So I have a process where I take this template, I take what we're looking for in the person, and I dump this information into an AI tool like ChatGPT, and it helps us craft the more precise job role or position that we're looking to fill. From there, there's all sorts of interview questions and interview phases that we run people through. I'm a really big proponent of doing a Zoom screening, especially in today's day and age. If I can meet with less people and have more interactions and conversations via Zoom before I actually have to get off my ass and meet you face to face, I'm going to do so. And that right there has been a game changer for us. And, the people who are out in the job market who are looking for work right now, they're pretty used to that at this point. When I first started doing it, it was a little, I was questioning it, and it was 2020. It was the tail end of the big C. I don't want to mention that name here and get shadow banned by Facebook again. You can't make this shit up, man. So getting people on that Zoom was starting to become not such foreign language, foreign land kind of thing. So getting people into the Zoom has been super helpful because I'm looking at these people. What are they doing? What does their background look like? What are their surroundings? Did they show up on time? Did they show up early? All these little pieces of information, these data bits are coming over. And if you know what to look for, you can make a really, really educated decision if the person's the right fit for you or not. And the best part is, and this may sound counterintuitive, sometimes people don't show up to the Zoom call. And it used to get me all pissed off, and I get all hot about it. I'm like, man, so-and-so, this person must not want the job. They're wasting my time. They blocked off 20 or 30 minutes on my calendar. And now I'm like, did me a favor. Like legitimately, you did me a favor because you decided not to show up on this call. You decided to not act like a professional. Therefore, you did me a favor because I no longer have to possibly offer you a job, a role, a position here. And cool, thanks. You just saved me countless hours, countless months, countless headaches, and probably thousands upon thousands of dollars in bringing in the wrong person who is not only going to do a terrible job and piss me off as a leader, but you're also going to come in here and corrupt the culture of my company that I've worked my tail off in creating. And that's just a harsh reality. So once again, I'm going to wrap this up. We're at about 15 minutes, which is just about what I wanted here for this podcast recording, even though we're doing it live here in the Integrated Talk with Integrated Pros Facebook group. For those of you who have tuned in today and have watched this, drop some comments. I really appreciate you guys doing so. Don't forget, we're going to head over to it is events.stepitupacademy.com/webinar. Register there, save your seat, get into this hiring webinar. We're going to do a really deep dive. I'm going to show you guys all of it. I'm literally going to open up my playbook and show you exactly how myself and my companies have done hiring. This is stuff that we normally reserve only for paying Step It Up Academy clients, people that come in and work with us in a group setting and our group coaching, or the clients who come in and work with me one-to-one. This is, a lot of coaches go in there and have conversations with their clients and send them off to work. Yeah, I definitely do some of that, but I also have a little bit more of a hybrid approach where, we're going to have conversations, but if we need to climb into a piece of software and actually build something, integrate something, make a system or a process functional before the end of this call or the end of this week, we're going to do that too. And I think that's one of the things that separates me from most and some of the other coaches out there. And I'm not saying that other coaches out there aren't great. Trust me, they are. Some of my good, solid friends are amazing business coaches. And I've worked with some of them as myself. And like, you know what? Go and find the person. And I'm going to go on a rant here before we end this. When it comes to coaching, coaching is it's a tough space. There is no bar of entry to call yourself a coach these days. And I find the same thing in marketing. I find the same thing in bookkeeping, and it just is what it is. So these are three verticals you've got to be really careful and do your due diligence with before working with or deciding to hire someone to help you. And my rule here is this: if you're looking to work with a coach or hire a coach, do your due diligence, do your research on that person, and make sure that they have already accomplished in life and or business what it is that you're looking to accomplish. And if that matches up, green light, go for it. If it doesn't match up, then that person's probably not the right fit for you. And that's okay too. With that being said, head over to events.stepitupacademy.com/webinar. And I will see you guys there on April 24th at 6:30 p.m. Central. I appreciate you guys tuning in here for this different version of the Step It Up Entrepreneur podcast. Have a great day.
Thank you for tuning in to the Step It Up Entrepreneur podcast. Make sure you head over to stepitupentrepreneur.com and make sure you subscribe so you never miss an episode of the Step It Up Entrepreneur podcast.